The rich get richer for Kirby Smart and Glenn Schumann on the defensive side of the football as the Bulldogs land the signature of EJ Lightsey today, three-star linebacker from Fitzgerald, Georgia, the state champions down in 2A. This is another kid who can run and hit, can play multiple linebacker positions, inside, outside, 6'2", 210 pounds, I believe. Former Florida committed, I believe, back in the fall, decommitted in December, took an official visit to Georgia 2 weekends ago, was out at South Carolina this past weekend, and decided to commit and sign with Georgia over South Carolina today, giving Georgia one of the best linebacking cores of any team in the 2022 class. They've got a lot of guys, and EJ Lightsey is a guy that they pursued later in the process. You have to remember Shamar James, the four-star linebacker from Mobile that they tried to sign in the early signing day period. He ended up choosing Florida over Georgia, giving EJ Lightsey an opportunity to join Georgia's class. We've been telling everyone on Dog Post, if you're a member over there, this is not a surprise that they wanted to add at least one more linebacker in this class, someone who can play inside, I believe. They've got a lot of guys who can rush the passer at outside linebacker. You've got Marvin Jones Jr., Darius Smith, who I believe is going to sign tomorrow, from Appling County, Baxley, Georgia. He can get after the passer from the outside. Carlton Madden from Cedar Grove. He's an edge guy who can be, a tweener type outside linebacker, edge defender. So they needed more guys. CJ Washington from Cedartown can also play inside, outside. Jalen Walker, probably the best linebacker they've signed in this class, could also play inside or outside. So EJ Lightsey, a long, athletic linebacker who gets to the ball carrier. He's tough. He's got that South Georgia Fitzgerald toughness to him. Plays hard, loves the game, will pick you up and slam you to the ground. When he hits you, it's going to leave a mark. There's a reason a lot of these SEC programs really push for him late. And Georgia right now is linebacker U. They're not going to just take everyone, and they feel like EJ Lightsey complements what they're looking for. He can get downhill, but he can also go sideline to sideline. He's just a sure tackler. He doesn't miss a lot. He's got good instincts. He kind of bounces off of guys to get off of blocks. I mean, he's a slippery guy that I think it's tough for tight ends and offensive linemen to really get their hands on him and drive him backwards. He's kind of a smooth athlete. I think can find his way to the ball carrier whether it's in the middle of the trenches or more towards the sideline. He can run and he can go get the ball carrier. And he's another guy that fits exactly what they're kind of looking for. Shamar James, I think, is the better prospect and the guy that they wanted if they were to have an ideal linebacker class. Shamar James would have been the guy that they signed, and then there would be no room for EJ Lightsey. But he's good enough to play at Georgia. Florida wanted him, didn't get him. He had other SEC offers, but he's a Georgia kid who loves football and loves contact. He's a physical player, and he's got the length and the size to put on more muscle. So his best football is still ahead of him, but right now he has true instincts, and he's a sure tackler, and he's a guy that the Georgia staff can really work with and develop over time. He's not someone who I think is going to earn early playing time. I think Jalen Walker, if there's one linebacker in this class, that's the dude, right? 6'3", 220, can run, hit, cover, everything. And I think EJ is someone who still needs to develop a little bit, still kind of raw, but there's a lot of potential, and it's easy to see in his game. So he does a lot of things well, and he's just productive. He's a guy who gets his nose in there and, again, knows how to get the guy to the ground, whether it's the quarterback or the running back. He can take on a block and get off of it. It's not like he's making plays where he's just unblocked and he comes in and makes a big play in the backfield. No, I mean, he can get off blocks and then go attack the ball carrier. So really solid group of linebackers coming in this class. Obviously, Marvin Jones Jr. is the highest ranked of them, the 5-star outside linebacker, coming off the edge, trying to beat the tackle with speed or power. He can do a little bit of it. Michael Williams, more of a defensive lineman edge guy, but CJ Washington is a guy who knows how to run and hit. Jalen Walker, I could talk on and on about him. I spoke to a guy who coached him down at the Under Armour All-American game in Florida last month, and they just raved about him. Leadership, toughness, physicality, size, speed, he has it all. And I think EJ Lightsey is another guy who could really surprise some people. He's not highly ranked at all. He's not the biggest guy. He's not the fastest guy. He may not flash as much as others on film, but he makes tackle after tackle. He knows what he's doing. He's a tough physical kid. And I think that the staff has no problem, obviously, bringing him on. They like him probably more than the Georgia fans out there really think. So, I mean, whether you're a 3-star or not, if Glenn Schumann likes you and says, you know what, I can turn him into something, that should be all you need to know. I mean, the guy is one of the best developers of anyone in college football. I mean, Roquan Smith, Monty Rice, Nakobe Dean, Jamon Dumas Johnson, who I think is going to have a breakout year next year. All these middle linebackers are turning into monsters. And EJ Lightsey is another guy who has the potential to possibly do that if he continues to develop, work on his craft, add muscle. He's a 3-star kid, going to be one of the lower ranked guys in this class, but the staff likes him. And I think if you're a Georgia fan, you just have to sit back and say, okay, let's see what he can do. But another solid in-state defender, and just only makes Georgia's 22 class that much better. They wanted to add a linebacker before the class was finalized, and they do with EJ Lightsey, 3-star state champion linebacker from Fitzgerald, Georgia. Guys, thanks for watching this video. As always, stay tuned to the next one coming up right now, and I'll see you over on the website.